Evening and welcome to our new moon circle. It's an Aries new moon intention circle this evening, one of two this month. Very exciting, very rare thing that occurs. It's also celebrating the energy just before the spring equinox here in the Northern Hemisphere. And of course, the beginning of the astrological new year as well. We're excited to share the energies of this time with you as we celebrate the third year of offering new moon intention circles to our community. So as we jump into the beginning of our fourth year of doing this, we are so grateful for our community and this rich gathering of like-minded and like-hearted people. Let's begin. So we are thrilled to be here and wanted to remind everybody that, shockingly, the equinox is coming up. It's happening in about a week. And so Tuesday, which is a week yesterday, from 7 to 9 p.m. online, we will be doing part 2 of our Enlighten Up 2023 vision board building class. So that will be the second half of our vision board building. So if you've registered and attended the first one, or if you've been listening to the recordings or playing with whatever, then just remember that this is included. And if you haven't registered yet, please do so and join us, because it's going to be mind-blowing and extraordinary and amazing. And we have some preparatory things that are going to be happening this week, some emails that are going to go out for you to consider and think about things for yourself. And we're really, really excited. And the energy of the astrology is quite special. And Valanne's going to be referring a little bit to that this evening. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us at the end. We're happy to share. And until then, Valanne, do you want to share Zora's message for us this evening?
I will. This is the channeled message I did yesterday, today. I don't even remember when I did it, for this particular group for the Aries New Moon. So what came through was, greetings. We would like you to understand, as you look forward on your own unique path, that you are being guided to follow what is ultimately a soul evolutionary journey experienced in the wonder of your three-dimensional life. You're asked now to have the courage to open to what is right for you and to set in motion the unfolding of a life that aligns to what your soul aspires to be. Recognize that there are many guides who will assist you as you seek this path to yourself with clarity. And know that when you ask to understand your own truth, it is always available to you.
I always love to sit with the energy of these messages. And I find this one particularly interesting because referencing the many guides who will assist is an interesting energy to add to the Aries energy, which tends to be a bit of a pioneering, stand on your own, impulsive kind of energy. And so it's interesting to combine those two. And so we love to talk a little bit about what the new moon is all about in terms of her energy. And I love to remind everybody that we deal with the moon as a feminine energy, but the new moon specifically because it's that dark, quiet, empty time. So we really love the opportunity for us to be in contemplation and to go within, and we're going to do that in our journey this evening, to go within, really contemplate these seeds, these new ideas. And this particular moon is really calling upon our inner maverick, that pioneer, to bravely lead you into your new story. And that story is going to be unique to you. But the ways in which you can understand yourself within that story, the way in which you can expand within that story, that can be done within community. And that's one of the reasons why we love our circles so much, this new moon circle, as well as our inner wisdom circle that we do twice a month. And so I'm going to pass it over to Valanne to talk a little bit more about this quality of Ariesness that we're dancing with all through the month, and then into the next new moon, which is going to be an Aries new moon again. So as an Aries sun person, I have to say I'm finding it a little overwhelming already, but that's overwhelmed by myself. But let's see what Valanne has to say about this.
Yes, all you Aries get bookended from beginning to end. So the Aries energy in general is the energy of beginning. It's the excitement of starting a new journey, starting something new. So there's this newness that's echoes through all of this. And so the characteristics that we will be working with and that you can call on over the next month as you're working with, the setting intentions and just sort of feeling into it. Some of the ones that really are applicable are, that sense of enthusiasm and being courageous and starting something new. And when I talk about the specific Aries energy for the new moon, it's a lot about, as Sasha said, the new story, starting your new story. There's this beautiful opportunity to open to something new, especially this year. So it's a powerful month. Enterprising, getting stuff going, being optimistic. It's almost like really aligning to what your story is, your heroic story. You've got that highlighted too. And recognizing when you trust yourself, you can tap into that optimism that carries you forward, that gives you that courage. So, and that ties into that instinctive one that's also highlighted. It's that trust of knowing this is who I am. And the energy of Aries is a lot about who am I? It's the I am of the zodiac signs. So this is a beautiful opportunity that as we're moving forward and initiating things, being aware of how it connects to who we are now and who we're becoming, which is beautiful. On the flip side, Aries wants to go. Aries wants to get stuff done. It doesn't really like to slow down at all if it has a choice. So it can be very impulsive. It can be impatient. So there's a little frustration can come up. It can be a sense of even that sense of, I've got to get going. And there may be a resistance that comes up, which is just another place to pay attention to. And even a level of recklessness when it's like, I just got to go. So pointing out the dark side is simply to recognize where this comes up for us. And maybe some of it does, maybe none of it does. Probably all of us can relate to some pieces of it, because we all have Aries in our chart somewhere. So it's just a time to recognize if we are feeling impatient, or if we do feel like we've just got to get going, to really give ourselves the moment to align to ourselves again. And why are we impatient? Or what are we impulsively doing? Is it the right thing for us to be doing or jumping into? So these are just the overall energies of Aries, which we can call upon and also be aware of within ourselves over the next month. So I pulled some of these points from our 2023 Moon Intention Journal. And here are some ways that we can use this energy that we're working with right now. So find my innate courage and individuality. So it's that sense of, okay, who I am. And sometimes it really takes a lot of courage to show up in who you are. Connecting to my role as a trailblazer. It's that piece in Aries that says, I know that this is right for me, and I'm just going to go and do it. And no one else has done it before the way I'm doing it. And once again, that goes back, there's a lot of courage that takes to really step into that and be okay with that, and to set a trail that is different for everyone else. Initiate groundbreaking projects, and this comes along the same way as the trailblazing. It's connecting to what's right for you in its own new way, initiating things that are brand new, that align to you. So once again, this is all this Aries energy is, who are you? And part of that is through exploring what you're creating in your world or how you're stepping forward. And taking a fresh perspective is that sense of that newness. The Aries is the beginning. It's looking at things with a new lens, taking a look again for the first time. It's that, looking with a fresh perspective. It makes me think of, and of course now the words have gone, but being in that childlike wonder of life, and recognizing your ability to be enterprising and inspiring, just to be okay to be in that place, stepping forward and allowing your inspiration to show and to shine. So that's just a few examples of how you can use this Aries energy. So this is the specifics of the new moon chart that I'm going to talk about. But what I wanted to just frame March, all of March, is a couple of really big things. And anyone who is in our 2023 intention setting workshop will already have heard of this. So I'm just going to briefly speak of this. There are two big shifts. There's many other shifts, but two big shifts that have happened in March. One is Saturn went into Pisces March 7th. And Saturn is about boundaries and construction and foundation and something solid, making something real, manifestation. And Pisces is the oneness, connecting to the oneness, connecting to source, the dream world, the compassion, the creativity, the spirituality. So this is a huge shift in energy for the next 2.5 years. And it's an opportunity to set a new container for our own spirituality, our own creativity, our own compassion, figuring out what we need to set a new foundation for ourselves in this part of our lives. And anyone who knows their chart or can call up a chart on astro.com can look for the Pisces house. You'll have a little more information on where in your life this may be showing up for you. So that's a huge 2.5 year shift that's happening right now. And then 2 days after the new moon, Pluto goes into Aquarius for the first time since the 1770s. So nobody's lived through this. We're all going to experience this little glimpse of what this is going to be together. And Pluto is total transformation. It's deep healing. It's bringing things out of the shadow into the light to be healed, to be transformed. It's that sense of the depth. It's like digging things up from the depths as the greatest treasure and recognizing what we gain from doing that. And it is about standing in our own power. Pluto ultimately wants us to be empowered to be ourselves. So it's stepping into Aquarius just for 2.5 months. Is going to give us a tiny window, a glimpse into what the next 20 years are going to be, sort of starting 2024, without getting into a lot of the astrology of it. So it's a little window. And once again, if you know your chart, you can look at where the Aquarius house is and just pay attention to what little pieces of information come to you in that part of your life that is future. It's the future for you. It's visionary. It's higher. It's the higher frequency, the higher vibration, Aquarius. And it's often very much about what we're offering the collective as a unique individual. So those are big, huge energies that are not necessarily exactly in the new moon that I'm about to talk about, but we're all living it. And it's just big energies we're swimming in. So it's great to be aware of it. So having said that,
before you carry on, because Valanne, because we've had a few people just jump on, a reminder that after we are finished with the slides, we're going to stop the recording and hang out for a few minutes, and we can talk a little bit about the workshop that we're going to be offering on Tuesday that's going to be supportive of the energies that you were just talking about. So if people are feeling a little overwhelmed, that's an opportunity to ask some questions.
Yes, exactly. We'll clarify it all. Okay, so now I'm just going to go into what the energies of this new moon are, which are really exciting. I may say that every time, but I don't know. This is really exciting. This is true new beginnings. Part of that is Aries is the very first sign of the zodiacal year. So we are at an astrological new year. It's the spring equinox. So we're at the beginning, certainly in the Northern Hemisphere, the beginning of spring and that growth and that excitement, that sense of moving into the warmth. And where this new moon is at 0 degrees. So it's truly at the very, very beginning of the zodiacal year. So there's something that emphasizes new, new, new. And as we've been saying in all our past new moons, we've had new moons at the early degrees for, 5 new moons have all been at the early degrees. So there's this emphasis, and this is the last one that's at this early degree. So there's something about this is our chance to start something new. And because it's in Aries, it's initiating something, having the courage to move in a new direction. So this is a time to really pay attention to what's calling you forward, what's inspiring you, just to be aware of what those things are. Maybe the universe is providing little hints to you about when you get that little, oh my gosh, that feels so exciting, I want to explore that more. Those are giving you the signposts. That's a direction to follow. So this is a beautiful time to really connect to where that happens in your life. And there's a lot of planets, in 6 planets when we include Aries, in Aries right now. So this is really a lot of, we're diving into something new. And I won't go into the details of how this all works out, but 4 of those planets, to me, when I looked at that, it's like, okay, what independent perspective can you take? And that's the independence is the Aries, what aligns to who you are, that offers you healing, that brings you truths, that uplifts you, that expands, that you can be in gratitude for. There's this big buoyant energy that comes with this Aries new moon. So that's just an overview of where we're starting from. Just lovely. So the next piece is connected to the Pluto, which I spoke about, Pluto in Aquarius, but it is connecting to the new moon in a beautiful supportive way. And the energy of Pluto wants to align to who you are. And so your unique path can be something that you're initiating. It doesn't have to be big. It can be some little thing that you're doing that you've always wanted to do. But what the essence is, what aligns to what you need in your life. And a lot of this may connect. Pluto is about inner transformation. So there's a place here that's really supporting you to look at how you've transformed. What have you been working on in the last while? Can you stand in your power and see your new path from that place? Make choices, set intentions, because we always talk, this is all in the context of setting intentions for ourselves, from a soul healing place. Like, where have you done your healing? Where are you in a transformation? Where can you honor that journey? And then from that place, set the intention of the new path that you want to open to. There's another beautiful little connection with the planet that represents the dreams. And so it's an opportunity to dream in the new. So connecting to your spiritual practices, connecting to your creativity, connecting to your dreams, to your compassion, anything that opens you to that sense of being oneness. So it can be listening to music, it can be any kind of creative act, it can be a meditation. It absolutely makes no difference, but this is part of what can guide you forward. It can be part of you connecting to your inner guide to set a new path, to see a new direction for yourself. There is a part, I'm talking about planet Neptune, it can cause times when it may be confusing, because Neptune is the dream and the fog and the connecting to the oneness, but that sometimes may be hard to pin down. So if, as you're seeking to listen for the clarity around your new path, if it is confusing or if you're unsure, there's a lot of indecision, to me, that says this is a time to reconnect, quiet, to be in communion with your own inner wisdom. This is where you go. You may not find pure clarity. And so with not having a clarity of, let's say, I've got to do this, or this is the action that I have to take, where do you go with that? You just go in and trust. So there's a place here about how important that connection is, because it is still a guide to what you're going to plant seeds in this new moon, how you're going to do that, even if you don't have the clarity of, I'm actually going to do this very thing. Tap into the feeling of it. Tap into the connection that you have within yourself that you know is a truth, even if it's not clear. And then this is going to be, if you just follow that and be with that, it is going to guide you to your vision, because Neptune's about visions for what you are, what you dream. So that will be part of what comes through that's going to allow you to set a path for your future self. And there's a lovely piece here, and this is North Node connecting to Venus. There's a time to set a new direction that aligns from or arises from your values. Super important to recognize what's really important. You're not mindlessly thinking, I'm going to start this project because I think it's a good idea. This is a time to go, what is my destiny? What's really important? What do I want to follow? What does that feel like? To really connect to that level of values. It definitely may have relationships may come into this. What's really important in a relationship? How does that support you to be your true self, to follow your true path? And there's a level of embracing this as a path of destiny. It's not that you're fated, but there's a place when you align to what you know is right for you. You're stepping onto your own soul path. And it is being assisted right now by Saturn to make it real. So there's a place here where all of the stuff we've already talked about, stepping into new ideas and connecting to a dream to guide you through your own inner wisdom to what you want to act on. And then here we get to a point, part of this new moon is, and we're being supported to make it real, to manifest it in your life. So all of these pieces, and I should say that Saturn sometimes is slow, so that we're planting the seed for something that may take time. And there's an interesting cycle here that's happened. And right now, Saturn, which is the planet of making things real, is at the same degree in the zodiac where the new moon was last month in Pisces. So you might want to look back at what you were feeling. Maybe if you have your new moon journal, check back on what you thought you might want to intend. See what seeds you planted on the last new moon, and then consider where we're at with this, because Saturn's now moved into Pisces, and Saturn being the container, maybe that container has to shift a bit. Maybe it even has to be a little more flexible. Maybe it was a little bit too rigid. What do you need to do when you're looking at your Pisces new moon from last time? What do you need to do to nurture that, to set a container that's going to allow the fruition of what you may have set in motion, planted seeds, set intentions for last time? So it's a beautiful, it's an exciting time because there's so much energy around creating our own path, following what's right for us. And when we follow what's right for us, it's not a selfish thing. We give everyone permission to be ourselves. When we do it for ourselves, everyone else has permission. And that's when we're all aligned. Then we're all following our own path. We're all on our own destiny. We are all contributing to, the higher vibration that we're being asked to step into as we're making this huge energetic shift that's happening right now in the planets. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Exactly. It's only that little thing that we're all part of.
Total massive of everything.
Exactly, exactly.
Love that. Thanks so much. One of my favorite lines from your astrological offerings here, Valanne, is embrace the path of destiny that you believe in and make it real. That was one of my favorite ones. And I thought, that really, for me, embodies this energy right here, which is the energy of our journey. So I'm just going to ask everybody to settle in. Reminder that we're still recording, but we are recording with slides on, so you won't be seen. So feel free to make whatever strange faces you want, or lie down, or close your eyes, or do whatever you like to do. And we're going to go on a little journey. And at the end of the journey, we're going to, I'm going to speak our intention that we're setting as a group. And we're going to sit in quiet for 3 minutes with that intention. And then we will come off slides and not be recording, and we can do any sharing that anybody feels that they would like to do, either from whatever came up for you during the journey or whatever came up for you during the intention. I'm going to remind you that we set the intention in first person so that you can hear it and repeat it to yourself as if you were saying it to yourself. It's particularly appropriate, of course, with the Aries New Moon. And for that, our intention with that is to help you personalize it for yourself. So if there's language that we used that isn't enough for you, or that isn't quite right in terms of what you're feeling for yourself, please do feel free to insert whatever is more meaningful for you on the fly. If you have been working on your new moon intention already, if you have a couple of words that are floating around that you're working with right now, or if you've been working on your pieces for the Enlighten Up workshop that we started in January, and that we're going to be wrapping up together with the vision board creation on the 21st. So just a reminder that that is a process that we're all in. And it doesn't matter if you've been consciously thinking of it or not, it's in your body, it's happening. And so if you want to bring that a little bit more to the surface, with our beautiful dancer here, whom I love. He looks like he's a Tibetan, or she's a Tibetan, some sort of Tibetan dancer. Anyway, with that incredible spark within, if you want to bring that up for yourself and even make notes in your journal afterwards, please feel free to do any of that. So we're going to get settled in, and we're going to go back to our person here. And just take a moment to notice your breath. And sometimes when we get here at the end of what working people fondly sometimes call hump day, I personally love Wednesdays. It's a day of quiet oftentimes in my home. Once we get to this point at the end of this day, it can be really helpful to just connect in with your breath in a very simple way, and that is to notice the sensation of the cool, dry air as it enters the edges of your nostrils, goes up into the sinus cavity, makes its way down into the lungs, and then notice the texture and temperature of the exhale. Oftentimes, when it touches the edges of the nostrils, it feels warm and moist. So noticing the subtle quality of your breath as you invite that life force energy into your body. Whatever's happening with your feet right now, here in Canada, it's still quite cold. And we have people all across Canada and in the United States joining us today. Wherever you are, whatever the temperature is, just wiggle your toes. And take a moment to find connection with your sock or the floor or your slippers with your pinky toes. So just intentionally press the pinky toe into the floor or the ground. And just notice the outer edge of your foot. And then slowly and gently roll the foot so that all the toes are pressing down to the floor. And now you've got the big toe mound and the big toe pressing into the floor without lifting the baby toe. So it's as if you were spreading your fingers and pressing them onto the floor, but you're doing it with your toes. And really find that grounding. The image that Valanne chose for this new moon is the warrior pose, the yoga pose that is the warrior pose, one of the warrior poses. And here's the key about the warrior, the Aries warrior in this context. It is the warrior within that you are being called to bring forward. The warrior that fights for you, that takes a stand for what you value, what is of worth to you, for you. The warrior within you that will fight for your dream. And that is the partner that is going to step forward to join hands with the astrological energies, the wave that we're in right now, the rushing forward that we can feel as we move toward this equinox and new moon. And so find your groundedness in whatever way works for you and continue to notice that breath and that invitation as you bring that life force, that breath into your body. And then release and soften and allow that life force to move through you. Follow that breath as it moves within. Follow the in-breath and the river of life that moves through you and into each cell, into each fingertip, into each organ, lighting you up from the inside out. This is the spark. As you sit or lie down, whatever position you're in, and even as you walk around, remember that this flow of livingness never stops. This literally is life moving through you. It's the same life that pushes the buds out on the trees. The same life that courses through the plants that will eventually come up in the garden. It's the same life of the winged ones, the creepers and the crawlers, the four-leggeds and the swimmers. It is the same life that is in all the worlds of Grandmother Earth, of which we are a part. So follow that breath within you until you come to your center. You may imagine your center at the middle of your head, the middle of your throat, the middle of your torso, perhaps at your heart chakra. You may imagine your center a little bit further down, closer to your belly button. It doesn't matter where you locate yourself. If you keep folding in upon yourself, following the breath and following the breath and following the breath, you will find the tiniest of tinies, the piece of you that is uniquely you. It cannot be seen with the naked eye, but it is the most powerful force we know of. It is source energy. It is your spark. You may feel it intensely within you. You may see it with your mind's eye. You may hear it. Perhaps it is singing to you. It's soul's song. It has a particular vibration, a particular tone or set of tones, perhaps colors, texture, temperature. Perhaps it is simply a flame. Whatever it is for you, be with it, love it. For this is your warrior's spark. This is what will take you forward and has been taking you forward and will continue to take you forward. As you imagine, as you vision, as you intend, as you pray, whatever words or terminologies you use for how it is that you co-create your reality with this spark. Now is the time. Now is the time to jump forward, to leap in that impulsive Aries way. Leap into your future. Your spark is enlivening you and encouraging you and cheering you on. From this place of deep connection with your essential fire within, we offer you this Aries New Moon intention. My intention is that I receive the gift of courage to deeply transform in ways that fully support my inspired life of purpose and play in greatest good for all. So coming back from your journey and your intention setting, just wanted to remind everybody before we sign off from this beautiful Aries New Moon Circle experience that next week we will be inviting Karen Mason, welcoming her back for her March Reflection Circle. Karen did a beautiful teaching circle with us last week around tapping and clearing blocking beliefs and reinstalling positive emotions. It was a beautiful time with her. She's such a gifted practitioner. And she actually recently did a really lovely interview, podcast interview as well, that we'll put up in the Inner Wisdom Circle module. We have a lot of incredible tools that are in our Inner Wisdom Circle membership, and you can see here all of the things that it includes. And the tools, of course, just keep growing because we're moving into the second half of our second year with Inner Wisdom Circle. Sorry, that actually into the end of our second year and the beginning of our third year next month. And we have amassed some beautiful tools, some beautiful resources, not just video, but some audio and some handouts, some PDFs that are downloadable, all of them available to members. So we are just thrilled to keep that growing and expanding. And just a reminder that all of the resources, information, anything that you want to know about Tools for Transformation can be found at the toolsfortransformation.ca site. New Moon Circle recordings and resources are in your library, but we're also on YouTube now. And of course, if you want to get your astrology chart information, you can find that at astro.com. And so that is it for us this evening. Thank you for being with us, and we look forward to seeing you on the next Aries New Moon, which will be just in about 4 weeks from now. See you soon.